Yo, what's up? What's up? What's up? Hope everybody's doing good. I'm back out here on the front porch for the front porch discussions. Those of you that joined the group on Facebook, I appreciate it. I really do. Like I said before, I think it's time that we start having a place for us as black men to gather, to talk, share our feelings, be open with one another, support one another, come up with ideas that can help better the situation for us as black males and for our race as a whole. It's just something for the culture, man. So I plan to take this and do these little discussions. We start getting some engagement and keep pushing it forward, and see if we can turn this into something else, a podcast or whatever, and just give us a space where we can come and we can talk and we can share. So, last week I talked about an incident that happened to me, um, and those black men that are out there. We're concerned about our own safety on a daily basis. But once you become a parent, especially a parent of a young African American male, once you have a son, your focus changes. And so, of course, I love my son dearly. I want him to be a great man. I'm trying to raise him the best way I can, my wife and myself. But now that she's passed, it's just all on me. It's all on me. So I hope everybody can hear me. If you can't hear me, please let me know. But so it's scary every time he leaves the house. He's in college now. I worry, just about every day what might happen. Right now he's at UNC Chapel Hill, so he's on a predominantly white campus, and this can happen anywhere. So I'm not knocking UNC Chapel Hill. It's a very great school. Um, and it's another talk we're gonna have because he really wanted to do an HBCU, but due to the amounts of money that was offered to him, so I'm not gonna go off on that tangent. That's another talk for us black males later. But um, the fact that he's on that campus and there's so many nationalities there, so many people come from so many different backgrounds, so many ideals, so many different beliefs that I don't know who may approach him or say something or do something. Uh, if his reaction to what they say will offend somebody, whatever, and things might happen. So I worry about him daily. So we're going into his senior year. Was it his senior year? 2018? Yeah, 2018. It was his junior year of high school. He was at the early college over at North Carolina Central University. And so he went out to get some yogurt with two of his friends. There were two female friends. And they went right down here in the whole valley to Menchie's. Um, so when they get there, me, my wife and myself, we're at home. We get a phone call. He's like, "Yo, mom, y'all come here. Um, they're trying to call the cops on me." I'm like, "Call the cops on you? If you know my son, he's trouble averse. He ain't trying to be in no trouble. If he see trouble, he getting away from it. He's not like his father. And I like him for that. He's an individual. He's himself." So when we get there, we start, and I think I posted this before. I posted it when it happened. And I posted it most recently, especially in the front porch discussion group. So I'm kind of going back over it. I was hoping he would join me, but he was kind of like he really didn't want to talk about it. He didn't want to go back through that again, which I can understand. But they went into Menchie's. As you know, their Menchie's platform is to allow you to sample the different yogurts before you purchase something, or if you don't purchase, you don't purchase. So they went in. The girls sampled something. They saw what they liked. They picked something. He sampled a few. Nah, he didn't really know. He was like, "I might not get anything." So he sat down with them to just have conversation as they ate their yogurt. Well, the owner and the lady that was working at the time, which I believe she's either his wife or his mom or sister. Um, I've seen her a couple times since then. I think it's his wife. Um, was at the counter. She was at the counter. She was running the place. She decided to go to the back to get something. When she went to the back, he got up. My son got up to go taste some more yogurt because he was going to make a purchase. He said, "Well, I kind of like that whatever flavor that was. He went back to taste it again against another flavor. She saw him. She came out. She told him he was stealing. You're stealing. You're stealing. You're not going to buy anything. So on and so forth. And he was like, "Well, what are you saying?" And she was like, "What, you can't hear? You're deaf." So now she's belittling him. And he was like, "Well, you don't have to talk to me like that. I'm just tasting something. I'm gonna get something." She's like, "You can't get anything now. You won't get anything now. You're stealing, and you're threatening me." And so she decided that she was gonna call the cops on him. Now she had a heavy Asian accent, so he was like, "I don't understand what you're saying." She took offense to that. So that escalated some more. So now she's calling the cops on him. He hadn't done anything. She assumed he wasn't going to purchase anything. And now she makes up this rule that you can only have two samples per customer. So we arrive, and when we arrive, we're talking to her. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. And she starts yelling. I asked her to calm herself down, lower her tone. Don't speak to me like that. We're trying to figure out what's going on. So I asked my son to tell me. As he's telling me, she gets agitated and starts putting her finger in his face. "You're lying. You're such and such." I said, "Oh, we're not going to call anybody a lie. We're going to figure out what's going on." She starts it again, and as I tell her, she's not going to do that. Now I'm the threat. So she calls the cops again. Not knowing that my wife's an attorney. So my wife is there the whole time. As we sit to wait for the cops, a Caucasian couple comes in, and they have a little girl with them. Father's carrying her, and they proceed to sample every single yogurt on the wall, as well as feeding the young girl. They decide on what they want. They make a purchase. They sit down. I speak to them. I don't have any problems with them. They did what you would do if you're going into Menchie's. I pointed out to the lady, now you saw them sample everything, more than 2 samples. So what is the problem? She couldn't answer that. So things go on. The cops finally arrive. 2 officers appeared. They were in a car together, so I guess they were partners. One was a young Caucasian guy. One was an older Caucasian guy. The younger guy was tall. The older guy was short. They come in. My wife starts telling them who she is and starts talking, telling them what's going on, what we heard. The lady's still trying to say something different and talk over my wife. The young guy was like, "Ma'am, she's talking." So my wife starts telling what happened, and he's bewildered. He's like, Isn't this the business model that you get to take sample until?" So she starts saying, "No, just 2 samples." He said, "Well, there's no signs that say that." So he's being reasonable. The other cop is looking agitated. So as my wife is talking, the other lady tries to talk over her. My wife tries to talk a little louder to say what she got to say. The short cop comes out of his mouth with, "You need to shut up," talking to my wife and saying that lady's trying to say something. It ain't your turn. You're not going to talk. So he gets a little aggressive. I let the first time slip. Second time, I didn't let it slip. I had something to say to him. So now he's turning his attention towards me. And he's really trying to push my buttons to get me to react a certain way. And if anybody knows me, he was about to get the reaction that he wanted. So by this time, a black cop comes in that I know from being in the school system. Great guy, wonderful guy. He comes, he helps to de-escalate the whole situation, and needs to say nothing happened. But the fact that the lady first was calling the cops when it was not a law enforcement situation. 2, the cop coming in there, the shorter cop, the older cop, and really agitating the situation when the younger guy was the point person and had everything under control. It's 2. So now it's a situation where I could have gotten in a situation with a cop and lost my life, or been hurt, injured, locked up, whatever, coming to the defense of my wife. And it could have been a situation with my son had I not been available, or we not been available to go there to intervene. that it could have gotten very, very hairy and very, very scary very, very quickly. So I point that out to say that, we as black males, we always have to be on our P's and Q's on a daily basis, no matter where we are. Um, the situation with Mr. Floyd has exposed a lot of things, and it's things that everybody already knew. It was things that was already going on. It's just now that we got camera phones, it exposes it even more. Um, and I'm kind of proud of the movements that have been taking place. Some things have been getting changed. A lot of people are starting to be fed up, both African American and Caucasian, both black and white, and other races. There's other countries that are siding with this movement. So again, this is just a space for black males to come and talk. My son himself is very involved in a lot of activism or activist type activity. And one of the things he had been saying for a while was the defunding of law enforcement. And I understand that concept. I can't say whether I support it or I don't support it. I can see how it could work, but I see how it could harm some things too. I think with what would be great is maybe defunding them some and doing more so of the mental health type stuff, um, with people that are having problems and criminals, and trying to reform them in that manner. But I also think there needs to be a bigger screening of officers when they're going into the academy. Their backgrounds, the checks need to be a little stricter. They probably need to start doing them a little bit more like the FBI, CIA, and getting real down to who this person is. And then they need to have some equity training. There needs to be some talk about racism and biases and how to overcome those. There need to be some things about building relationships, because the officers should be in the community and be seen. They should know little Johnny that lives in that neighborhood, his mom, his dad, have interaction with them. I understand that being an officer is a very scary job. It's a job that you can lose your life. So in that aspect, I respect them, because it's very dangerous at any given moment. But at the same time, I really don't have a lot of love for them because of what has happened in the past. Now, when I say that, I'm not saying that to say everybody as a whole. I'm saying that for those that aren't doing what they're supposed to do properly. We got bad everything: bad lawyers, bad doctors, bad teachers, bad administrators, bad football players, and good people in all those same categories as well. So I encourage everybody to keep their eyes and ears open. Keep this dialogue going inside of your homes, your workplaces, and other places. Let's try to change this narrative. Let's start to understand one another, enjoy one another, love one another, and try to spread some love and peace. And us as black males, let's try to uplift one another and move forward. With that being said, I'm out, y'all. Have a good time this evening with your family and loved ones. Have a good weekend coming up. And I pray that everyone stays safe and stays blessed.